I found out about Aero Marine through the broker that sold us the boat in Florida. It was sort of a chain of word of mouth kind of a thing. And they suggested that I contact Aero Marine because I live in California and I purchased the boat in Florida. And I knew there was going to be a sales tax issue. So, and I decided to hire Aero Marine because I am very familiar with the fact that when you have an expert who speaks the same language as the entity you're trying to deal with, things go a lot smoother with much fewer hiccups and issues. And that's exactly what happened. My name's Jennifer Shelton. We purchased a 41-foot Lagoon Catamaran, my husband and I. We purchased it because it is our quote unquote retirement plan to basically get on that boat and never come back. So we plan to do extensive sailing, and we wanted a boat large enough that if our kids chose to join us for any part of that lifestyle, that they would have a place to be. I had expectations of what I would be receiving in exchange for my money, and I got exactly what I wanted, which is kind of rare in this world. It's rare for things to live up to expectations. And I was very happy with the service that I received. I was looking for a organization that could essentially stand in my shoes and deal with the use tax board or whatever the heck it is in California. I didn't want to have to deal with anything. I didn't want to have to sign anything. I didn't want to have to answer any questions. And that's exactly what happened. It was lovely. Before I hired Aero Marine, I was concerned that I was going to wind up paying extensive sales tax. As anyone who lives in California knows, it's in excess of 7% if you're lucky. And I was facing a 5-figure tax bill. And it was my hope that the sale could be structured so that I would not have to pay that. And so that I would not have to explain anything to the tax board. And that is precisely what happened. It was the best money I have invested. And when it came to this boat, the purchase of the boat was actually very, very rocky for my husband and I. It was a very difficult process. We were dealing with a lot of different people because we were over 2,500 miles away from our purchase. And there was issues with trying to store it, with trying to get it, through the Panama Canal and up to us, and maintenance that needed to be done. And it felt like at every turn, we were being taken advantage of by the people that we were counting on to help us. And out of all of that, Aero Marine was actually the only business or person that we dealt with that did not do that to us in any way, shape, or form. So it was lovely. But I am an attorney, so yeah. I am, kind of familiar with how they can operate sometimes. And I run my practice in a very straightforward way with a flat fee, schedule, so that my clients have very clear expectations on what they can expect to pay and what they can expect from me. And that's not common in the legal field. And I was so happy, I guess you could say, to find another organization that basically operated along the same lines. And without even knowing the internal workings of your agency, I could see it because this took a lot longer than I think any of us expected it to. There were so many backups with the tax board, but your office stayed in contact with me. I got prompt responses when I sent out a request for an update. You were clear on the documentation you needed from me, what would work and what wouldn't. And even when I didn't reach out, I would receive regular updates to say, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. It's just taking a really long time. We're at stage 1. There's 2, I kept getting really nice regular updates. And I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, to have someone email me and say, this took much longer than we expected. We need more money. And I never got that message. So it was a lovely experience. It was so when we got the letter from the tax board saying that our exemption was approved, we owed no tax. And it was just this grin just came across my face. This was the last shoe to fall that, gave us clear paths on the boat where we didn't have anything else hanging over our head. And so it was just a breath of fresh air. It was like water, nice, cool, refreshing water hitting me. So it was great. It was terrific. As a final note, as far as my feelings and thoughts about working with Aero Marine, I will say that it was, and I know I've said these words before, but, in all sincerity, it was a streamlined, seamless process. I was supported all the way. I actually ended up having different assistants helping me. I think there might have been a change in staff, but even that did not interrupt the process, which is pretty impressive in office, because changing your staff like that can be very turbulent and can be very chaotic. But that was never transmitted to me. And again, the support was ongoing and seamless and steady. It was the best investment I think I have made throughout. I think we've owned that damn boat for 3 years now. We've had to do everything from replace motors to sail bags to, you name it. But this process, best money I could have spent. I'm very, very glad that I did.